Hey cousins, it's Kicker. How you doing? I just wanted to make another short video for you to let you know that I lost almost 35 minutes of footage when I transferred everything earlier over to the Google Cloud. I didn't give it long enough to transfer from my phone into the cloud, and all that I got was 4 seconds of that footage. And so the second half did make it to the Google Cloud, so I'm downloading that onto my computer now, and I'll wait for this to download into the cloud, or upload rather into the cloud. And then I'll use this as an intro and an outro, since my outro also got cut short earlier. And I hope you enjoy this video. It's just me tinkering with a carburetor and talking and kicking it with you. So I hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for hanging out with me and for kicking it with Kicker. Kicker out. Later. Hey there, cousins. How you doing? I can officially say now that it's after midnight that today is Thursday, January the 20th, 2022. Okay. This will officially be my second video for the new year. And it's not getting off to a very good start, but I found my T-wrench laying on the bench downstairs, almost like it knew I was coming looking for it. I don't know how long this will end up being, but the reason my phone just shut off was because my SD card got stuck in my phone, and now everything is full from the last video that I created and a couple of photos that I had yet to delete and upload into the Google Cloud. Uh-oh. Come on out of there, little fella. Come out that way, come out that way. Well, and you being a stubborn little feller. What do you get hung on? Get on out of there. There you go. I still have no idea what's holding this top on. Those metering jets out of the way is one thing. It's got a screw from underneath somewhere holding it. two of them. Let's see if I brought the right screwdriver for that. That's even a screw head down in there. Vacuum port passage. Yeah, those are just vacuum port passages. So, not exactly sure what that top could be hanging up on. Guess I could have researched it a little better on the internet before I tried making a video on it, but you know, this is real. This is me figuring it out. You know, looking at it for the very first time, so I don't give up too easy. I just stay after it till I figure it out. It's got to be a simple explanation as to why it's not just coming right apart. Like a puzzle, I have to find the right combination without ever thinking that I need to say the word alakazam or abracadabra. Those words no longer exist in my mind or in my thinking, and I don't partake of that kind of way of thinking anymore. I'm a bit resolute now and sober, and you know, somebody needs to be, I think. Not sure what this old man could do at this point, you know, but I'm sure that I still have something worthy of bringing to the table if need be. Might be old and obsolete, but not dead yet. God must be keeping me around for one or two good reasons. Being raised in Missouri, that's where one of the old timers would have said to you in retort, very curtly, "Speck a reckon." You'd be sitting there thinking, what did he just say? He just said that he speck a reckons. Speck a reckon. I suspect that I reckon is essentially what it breaks down to. I had no idea what those old timers were saying. They spoke a completely different language than everybody else. Now I'm that old timer that speaks a completely different language that none of these new generation can understand. Well, son of a gun. It's got a center bolt or something. Man, it can't be that simple. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Why didn't I spot that? Why didn't I spot that? What the heck is wrong with me? Rookie? Okay, just like I suspected, my floats are hanging up on something here. My upper gasket is hanging up. There it goes. Yeah, you gotta bring that gasket up with you when you bring those floats out. Man, those floats and that accelerator pump look brand new. I ain't kidding you one bit. Wow. that everything looks brand spanking new. I don't even see any deposits of any kind. Let me get you up out of there, out of that perch, and see if we can take you for a ride and let you have a look in there and see what I'm looking at. Wow, look at how clean that thing is. That's awesome. There might be a little bit of fuel residue right there. Look at that. Yeah, you can tell it's had some fuel run through it. I'm going to clean that little bit of residue right there off of it. I'm going to clean out those passageways with a little WD-40. Love that stuff. I love the smell of it. I wouldn't wear it as a cologne, but I do like it enough that if I smell like WD-40 going into a place, that's like 10 steps better than diesel, kerosene, gasoline in that order. Yeah, that's far better. Alright, I want to put you guys back in the perch now. How's that work? Hey, you got a shot of everything right there. Right in the middle of the action. Just give a little squirt right there. Down up my nose, bud. Ooh, boy, a little dab will do you. You know what? I was going to use that, but I think I would rather use paper napkins for this. Need a hard corner. Fold that napkin over until you got like a paintbrush that's hard on the edge, so you can use it to scrub the bottom without the paper falling apart on you. Scrub that grit and that grime that comes from those petroleum distillates in the fuel. Anything mixed with EA5 is an alcohol-based fuel, and you have to remember that alcohol, corn alcohol, ethanol, is derived from a water-based and water-soluble petroleum distillate. So even though it's been distilled and you mainly got the alcohol there, that water molecule is still hiding in there. That's why it takes twice as much EA5 as it does 93 octane. All of those petroleum distillates evaporate and leave all of those water-based pollutants behind in the bowl, clogged up around your accelerator pump. Matter of fact, that bad boy needs some oil on it. I don't mind getting it all just a little bit wet. Especially if I'm going to be running it soon. That WD-40 on that gasket ain't going to hurt it a bit. Actually going to help it. Yep. Whenever I pull a carb off that I know I'm not going to be using anymore, I like to completely drain it and empty it and blow WD-40 into all of the orifices, especially down the vent tubes, and get it in there where that bowl and that fuel have been at, so that that oil will bounce around inside there and coat everything down. That way it'll be ready to go the next time you need it. It'll already be ready to go, already lubricated. That stuff gets everywhere. A little bit of that oil down in there will stay in there for quite a while. You wouldn't think it, but it takes quite a while for that fuel to dissipate all of that WD-40 that you can put in there. You rebuild. Yeah, talk. Man, I'd like to just do a little. Look at that. Nice. I'm not going to pull those annular booster legs. I'm going to blow some WD-40 down in them. A little bottom of that accelerator pump bowl. Need to clean that side out a little better. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to call this good. This thing looks nice inside. I couldn't believe how clean it was. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to see white chalkiness everywhere. And other than this little bit that's in this corner right here, need to get that out of that corner. That screwdriver action. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now that little weird brown nasty chalkiness. The same thing was on those float bowls. Did you notice that? Let's scrub that float. As far as these metering rods go, and the spring rates on these metering rods, everything seems to be smooth and straight. A little bit of carbon buildup on that one. I'm going to scrape that loose with my thumbnail while I got it here in my finger. You want to make sure that these metering rods are seated properly without bending that tip. That is what goes in and out of the jet and controls the fuel during wide open throttle, or full activation of the primaries, and then when there's full activation of the secondaries. Because this is a blow-through style secondary, even though the secondary butterfly is manually operated, it's still controlled by the vacuum and flow of air coming into the venturis and through the vent holes on this top plate into the bowls, and pressurizing the fuel that's in the bowl and blowing it through the carburetor and out of the jets. Hope that simplification made it easy to understand for those that might have had questions about how this kind of carburetor functions. And I think that I'm fairly close in the synopsis that I just mentioned. So if you didn't understand it, I suggest rewinding it back a couple minutes and listen to what I just said again. It's easier than me trying to repeat it. And yeah, I noticed along the way people don't like it when I repeat myself more than once. If I got something to say, it's worth saying. I only need to say it once. It's worth hearing again. They'll be like, huh? What'd you say? What was that? They'll be curious and ask more questions, and then you know that you have their mind engaged on a new topic that their mind had yet to explore that avenue of thought, and now they're curious as to what you meant by that. Don't be offended by it. Be an educator. Be an uplifter of someone else's spirit. Don't be concerned with somebody else uplifting your spirit first. You need to take the initiative and step out of your shell and do something good for a change instead of something that you're used to doing. It takes a big sacrifice. I haven't always been able to do that, so I know the struggle with it if you can't. We all get there eventually. Tell you what I'm going to do. After I get this back together, I'm going to fill that chamber up with WD-40 and see if those squirters work. With that accelerator pump. I'm going to put it all back together now. I think I'm going to pause, actually. I'm going to set this guy right over there in front of you guys. I don't like leaving that sitting on that throttle rod. Ain't going to hurt it for a minute, I guess. I want to pull this out of here real quick. Take a look. I just want to take a look real quick, a peek. Nice. Let's just go ahead and put that guy right back like he was. Just like that right there. Might need my glasses on this one. Keep moving myself right out of my own light that I need. I got it blinding me right in my eyes to the point where I can't see what it is that I'm doing. I would normally take these floats and dip them in a little safety clean. If I had some safety clean, you know what I mean? Or water will work, but I don't like water because water won't evaporate if there is a leak. And for every bubble you see, that's a drip of water going inside that float that you can't get back out unless you steam it out. And then your float swells up and balloons out of shape trying to steam that water out of it. Get too much steam caught in there while trying to solder one back together. Fix a pinhole in one with your little fine torch and your solder. You can fix a pinhole in a float, a brass float like this, relatively easily. If you have the proper iron, with the proper torch, and the proper solder, with the proper flux in the core, you can fix these very easily. But it's best to use a liquid that will quickly evaporate under minimal heat. So no more than holding it over the flame of a candle for a few seconds will be enough heat in it to vape off any alcohol that might be left in it. If you're using isopropyl alcohol, it's best to use an isopropyl alcohol with a 0.5% distilled water base. And that's the only way you ever want to use water to check those, is in an alcohol water mix. And the water will of course help the alcohol evaporate, and the alcohol will help the water steam off. So it's a win-win if you use them in the right combination. Man, I'm just full of those little wisdom pieces tonight. Could probably sit here and talk your ear off, I guess. Or put you to sleep. That's probably what I'm doing. If you've watched this long and this far, I'm sure you've probably already clicked off. He's not doing anything interesting. He's not talking about that carburetor. He's just kicking it. Ain't that the point? You're kicking it with kicker now. I think I'm ready to go. Both of those needle and seat valves look nice and clean, fresh, new. I mean, minimal usage on this carburetor if it's had any. You can tell when a carb's been sitting, or if it's only been run once and put back in the box. It's probably on a break-in engine or something, or was too big for the engine that they put it on and took it right back off and put it back in the box and just kept it, you know. Now here it is in my hands. This came as part of the trade for getting rid of my 97 Harley Davidson Sportster. From what I understand, I think that he still has the motorcycle and is happy with it. I'm glad. I had a lot of fun on that motorcycle. There it goes. Oh yeah, they're both clean. Nice. It was worth checking. They're both squirting. Just like they're supposed to. I have a feeling this carburetor might actually be a good one. What do you know? I would have never guessed that thing to be on there like that, helping to hold that top piece on. How bizarre, how bizarre. That little center stud, I've never encountered that ever. That's the first time. And if it wasn't there on the last one I did, it's probably because somebody took that crap out. I was like, what the heck is holding that thing on? You seen me sit here and fight with it and fight with it? Stupid little union collar for this thing. Well, that's not long enough to hold anything. Man, if you aren't working with any more than that, you aren't filtering. Yeah, that filter I got on my truck, it's working with some long rod. Yeah, sure is. Oh, I guess that could have been misconstrued, taken wrongly. I hope not. There I go, opening my fat mouth. Alright, now what the heck did I just do wrong? think I got it. But I need to come up here like this. Come on now. Hard to hold that butterfly open. Put the accelerator pump arm in the S. Close everything back. Get in the correct position. Heck, man. Alright. I had it, I just didn't have it. And this one goes right back there. Let's get that done first. We're just gonna snug that up a little bit. We're gonna leave everything loose for now. Got ahead of myself, didn't I? That long one goes right here. And the short ones go all the way around. So the idea behind inspecting this carburetor is for some upcoming footage that I plan on getting if I can get my phone. I tried putting an old SD card in there thinking, that'll give me some more memory. That SD card was loaded with memories. And it got stuck in my phone and now I can't get the SD card out of it. So anything I record on that phone, I have to let it upload and then immediately delete it, or I won't have enough storage space and memory to record more than 10-15 minute segments at a time. And if I want to sit and chit chat with my audience for an hour and make my video an hour long, that's my prerogative. It's my channel. I try to keep my content clean and family friendly. Well, hoping that, you guys like hanging out with me. Maybe you'll click that like and subscribe button and share it with your friends, and maybe they'll like my content also and come and hang out with me every now and then and click that like button on one of my videos. And the whole idea, man, is so that I can get the money I need coming in to get these teeth fixed. Survived cancer and chemotherapy that cost me my smile going on 6 years ago now. And, I'm only going on 52 years old. I'm too young to feel this old. And, I'm a man. I'd like to meet another woman eventually. Kind of hard to do that without a smile. So the whole idea is for me to talk about the things that I know about without getting too personal. You know what I mean? I can talk about things that personally have affected me and from my experiences of it in generalities, and be close enough to convey any other points or messages I might want to share with my audience. And that's kind of what I hope you're tuning in for anyway. Those hidden little gems here and there, man, of my personality, who I am. And if I don't like what I see, I might not say anything about it, but I might not ever come around again either. You can live your life however you want to live your life. I'm not your judge. My job here in this realm is to be no one else's judge. jury, or executioner. My place in this realm is to exist in oneness with myself and God that dwells within me. And when I say that, you got to understand that not only does God dwell in each and every one of us, but the darkness and the evil of this realm that we were born into, it dwells within us also. And like that wise Native American chief told his grandson, the two wolves that are constantly fighting within you, the one that wins is the one that you feed. So if you choose to feed the correct wolf, you serve God, turn away from all the ways of this world and the evils of this world and the violence of it, your whole world changes. Everything in your thought patterns and perspective on the world change when you release that evil and embrace it. And sometimes the only way to release it is to embrace it in its fullness and come to know it. How are you ever going to master it if you don't come to know it? Well, don't get to know it too closely and then like it and not want to ever turn away from it. That's the trick. Because, believe me, that can be a difficult task. Having a monkey on your back that you can't get rid of. We've all been down that road in one form or fashion or another. I don't care what your drug of choice was, you had some kind of weird addiction too, and you can't deny it, and neither can I. And we all struggled through it and made it through it, or some of us might still be going through it. And for those that are, man, you got to pray for them, you know. It isn't easy when you're going through hard times in life and you don't have anyone else to trust or talk to. I've been there too, man, and I'm telling you, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Feeling like you're all alone in the world. There's always somebody that loves you and somebody that cares and somebody that's secretly out there praying for you even though you're busy cursing them. You want to know how I know you've done it or are still doing it? Is because I did it myself, and sometimes I still make the mistake of doing it too. You know, none of us are perfect. A good Christian admits to being a sinner. Owning up to my own actions and saying, I shouldn't have done that. Whoa, immediately regret doing that. You finally get to a point in your life, well, you know, that was probably necessary or it wouldn't have happened that way. And if that be the case, hope you have few and far in between of those issues in life to ever have to deal with. Okay, both of these metering rods have to make sure that when that spring goes back in, that spring seats back up underneath the head of that cup. It'll feel like it is, but it's not. And you just kind of got to work that spring around inside the head of that cup until it pops all the way to the top. And you can kind of tell when they do. And then there's a sticky spot on the body. You got to get it past that sticky spot before you install the cover plate over the top of that metering jet. This one has a fancy little clip on it that's supposed to hold that metering jet in place and not let it walk around, but this one doesn't have one on it. Yeah, oh well. What are you going to do? So, kind of line everything up there, press everything in with your finger and hold it tight until you get the head of this screw flush with that hold down plate before you let go of the pressure. Otherwise you won't have to get back in there again and press that thing past that little knock or notch or whatever it catches on when it's up at the top like that. You don't want to force it down in there. You want to work it down in there gently past that little notch. Because once it's in place, that little notch is there to help it stop and keep it from opening too far. That's its guide. Alright, show you, man. See, if you rock it over to the side, oh, that clip is on there. It's still on there. And see how I caught? Can't push it down in there. You don't want to force it, so you got to just push it, get it to where that jet lines up. Put the plate back on it, like that. And put the screw back in it. Simple, easy stuff. For me, it's kind of cathartic. Almost mispronounced that word. It's therapeutic. Don't like working with that light right in my face, I know that. I don't know if I care much for the spotlight.